Yeah. Such a special night for our program, special day, I should say. Our last regular season game, playing a tough team in Minnesota, and then, bigger than that, just being able to celebrate these 4 seniors that have meant so much to our program, meant so much to our team, meant so much to this place. So proud of our effort. I thought, we knew coming in Minnesota's a team where you got to gut it out. They're tough. They stay in the game. And I love the way we kept playing. And I'm so grateful that in our last home game, we could send out the seniors with a win.
Oh, sorry. Julia, how she
Yeah.
struggled with her shot early, but for her to hit that 3 and then immediate timeout. Is that something that you knew if she made it, or was something planned, or just moment?
Well, she's such a good shooter that, eventually, right, there's going to be a breakthrough. And we just kept telling her to just keep shooting it. Like, she's getting great shots. Those are shots that are really good for us. We believe in her. And then she did. I thought the second half, her 3 threes were huge. I teased her. It's like you never leave the gym on a miss, right? Like anytime you're in a gym or in practice. So I was very grateful she got to leave on a make. But those mattered. They were really packing it in. I thought when we were able to hit a few of those threes, it really opened up the game.
Hey, sorry. Hey, Coach. Obviously, today was a big win. It was an emotional win in a really close game. So I'm just kind of wondering how you turn the page into next week, knowing that the most important games of the season are still coming up.
Well, I shared with our team, over the last 2 weeks, all we've played are tournament games. The entire end of our schedule has been all tournament teams, 3 on the road and 2 at home. And so I think we're going into March with no false understandings of what it feels like, what it looks like, what this level of team that we've been going against feels like to compete against. So that's been good. And in those games, you learn a lot, right? You make a few mistakes, they get exposed. You're not dialed in on the details, you get exposed. So, we finished the season with a really, really tough stretch of games, but in a good way. I think going into March Madness, we have been competing consistently against high-level teams. But we can savor tonight. We have no idea who we're playing today. Actually, it was funny. Coach Weimer was like, last night I was Swiffering my floors because we actually don't know who we're playing next. It's like for a moment we can, we can savor this with the seniors. I think tonight is very much worth savoring. I'm so proud of them. And, they all have a different story. They've all been here a different amount of time, but they are all just first-class people. And, the coaching has all of its challenges, but when you get to be around great kids, you just feel like the luckiest. So, most important basketball is still in front of us. We'll know probably tomorrow evening who we're playing, and we'll get ready for them.
Going back to Julia, can you describe just the 3 that she hit in the fourth quarter that really kind of got the crowd going and really sparked the run that you guys went on to gain some separation there?
Well, she hit a big 3 because they went up 4. And then she also pumped the crowd up to as loud as I think they had been all night. So it was a dual combination of both making a big shot and then really, engaging our crowd in it. And that was a big shot. I thought it really changed momentum.
Coach in the back, kind of piggybacking off of that, it seemed like once you put the 4 seniors in and, Grace was in as well, that's when you guys really started to create that separation. Was that just about getting the seniors in, or was that about, who you thought was going to be best to kind of end this game?
Well, I'll give my assistants a lot of credit. They do an excellent job of subbing. And I think they have a really good pulse on who's playing well, what matchups have been working, and more importantly, especially with our team, who's playing well together. I think that it's something we pay a lot of attention to. We have a lot of information around it, but you have to pay attention, right, of really, like, for each game. For our team, it's looked a little bit different depending on the night. So that group at that time was really playing well together. And it was pretty cool that they were all 4 out there at the same time, that they could all 4 of them could also come out off the court together.
That you guys ended well in the second half, but the first half was a little bit streaky, a little inefficient on the field goals.
Yeah.
Is there something you saw going into halftime that you weren't liking that you guys were doing?
We were choppy. I mean, they were really over helping. They were really pinching. I thought the second half we just did a much better job of better spacing, better ball movement, getting the ball into the paint after help had left. I thought we did a better job of that. And then, when we really made our surge, it was we got stops, we got rebounds, and we got fast break opportunities. I thought that was especially in that fourth quarter, that's when we got a lot of momentum.
In the back again. You mentioned each of those 4 seniors with very different paths. Did you ever imagine when you took this job 2 years ago that you would be able to get senior day with Nyla and with Jocelyn?
No. I mean, I think, I was so fortunate to coach them at Bowling Green. And our last season there together, we had a great team. I mean, a really, really high-level, connected, really great team. And, when the opportunity came to come to Michigan State, that was emotional, right? Those are kids we felt really passionate about and loved. And that team, I thought, was extra special. And so when we came here and they were willing, Jocelyn right away, and then Nyla this year were willing to take a chance, really, take a chance on us, take a chance on a new opportunity. Very grateful for that. And they're 2 kids that, I've known them since they were 15, and top of the line people, and very grateful they came to Michigan State with us.
I got excuse me, got a 2-parter here. Is it fair to say that these last 2 games kind of defined maybe not the whole season, but a good portion of the season, and what kind of team you have? And then to piggyback off that, what kind of team are you taking into the postseason?
I think when I look at our team over the regular season, we're tough, we're gritty, and I think in every game this season, we've even games we've lost, we've never been out of it. Right, we've always found a way to keep competing, and that was tonight. Minnesota took a 4-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we responded. Right, we've got when we are at our best, we have an incredible competitive spirit, and when we are at our best, we're able to use our speed and our competitiveness to help us. And going into the postseason, I think you've got to be really good at what you're really good at, and you kind of got to own who you are. And we've got to keep doing things, keep owning that.
Hey, Coach. A lot during the fourth quarter, it seemed like a lot of the offense that you were generating was coming from the defense. You mentioned that lots of stops, creating the offense. Was there something that you said, especially during that fourth quarter, to really pick up the intensity defensively that allowed you to generate the offense that you were getting? Well, we did switch up. We do switch up what we're doing, right? We'll switch up our press. We'll switch up. We switched up our ball screen cover. Minnesota was doing a lot of ISO, a lot of just kind of one-on-one attacking our guards, and so we also challenged our guards, like, hey, they're going one-on-one ISO, like. Let's have a ownership of our matchup and quit letting them get to the rim and score or fouling. And then another piece to it is the way we play is you've just got to stay with it, because there is a cumulative effect to pressure. There is a cumulative effect to doing it over and over and over again. And we saw that breakthrough in the fourth quarter. We kept pressuring, and then we started getting stops, and we started getting rebounds, and we started getting runouts. And that was important for us because it was a tough game, and we knew coming in Minnesota is a tough team.
Coach, in the fourth quarter, you outscored Minnesota by 14 points. It just seemed like towards the end of the game, it was a rock fight all game long, and the endurance and the conditioning of your team was just really what showcased there in the fourth. I'm just wondering how, excited are you for that depth on your team as you go into the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, games where you won't get a lot of rest with constantly moving up through the tournament?
Well, I'll give our strength and conditioning coach, Claire, a lot of credit. I think she's done an incredible job with our kids of keeping them in good shape throughout the season. And, credit to our kids. We played Sunday, we played Wednesday, we played Saturday. We played 3 games in a really short amount of time. It was a very, very quick turnaround. And this was coming back from Ohio State on Wednesday, this was a quick turnaround to play again Saturday. So credit to Claire, and then, credit to our kids for being tough. And we always tell them when it's time to hoop, we hoop. I don't care if you're rested, not rested, 9 a.m., 5 p.m., whatever it looks like. Like there's winners have a competitive spirit and a energy about them. And, I thought our team did that well tonight.
Yeah, and speaking about the team, you guys have a half-court tradition prior to the game. I saw you were able to connect from one.
That's my third one this year.
From deep, but the players still have the advantage in that regard.
They also have way more people who shoot every time. So
that's right.
So if we're looking at ratios, I think it's closer than.
I'm just wondering, is that something that's going to continue in the postseason, and do you expect the coaches' play to really step up during that?
It will continue. We do it for every game. I got to talk to my staff because some people have not been doing their part, right? I mean, we need people to step up, and we need some more people making more shots. But if I look at the ratio, I do think it's closer than what it looks like.
You do like to remind us that.
Yeah.
Coach in the back, you've talked about, having 2 players who knew the system that you had ran in Bowling Green and coming here. How important was it to have somebody like Julia who was already here and could help relay your message once you got here, having someone who had been through this program and to be that leader for you?
I keep saying this today, but we are so lucky. We're so lucky to coach Julia. We're so lucky Julia is a Spartan. And I think of, if I could describe her, and I could give a million words to describe her, but if I could give one word, it would be Spartan. Like, she loves Michigan State. She loves this university. She loves these people. She loves this program. And when we came in as a new staff, she could have left. And, we had a lot of early conversations, and she didn't know what she wanted to do, right? I think she was really at a crossroads of what she wanted out of basketball or what the next thing was going to be. And I think we both just kind of talked and said, you know what, let's just give it a chance. Let's see what this looks like. Like, we really feel like you can be great here. You can be great in our system. Let's see what it looks like. And, nowadays, a lot of kids don't do that, right? A lot of kids don't say, sure, you're new, but I'm going to trust you. And she did. And I think the minute she did that, right, it's everybody else who's here trusts you a little more too. So I always think of her as this bridge that really welcomed our new staff in, connected us, believed in us, right? We believed in her. And 2 years later, we just feel so lucky. And I'm so thankful. And she'll be a story that we always point to, because her story is really how a lot of stories are. Like, there's ups and downs and challenges and big decisions. And, a lot of the stories we read are just when everything goes right. But she had a lot of things go wrong and stuck with it, and was willing to work through to get to the other side and was willing to do it with new people. And so for that, we are forever grateful.
Anything else for Coach Chris? Okay. Julia and Jaddan are making their way out.
Thank you all.
For the most part, besides that first quarter, just kind of taking a little while to score. That wasn't planned, but other than that, I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. Minnesota is a good team, so just being able to stop their threats and kind of capitalize on offense.
Talk a little bit about your journey. You've been some places.
Yeah.
Texas, Wisconsin, here, Arizona. Just talk about that journey and, I guess, being able to finish up here.
Yeah, I think every state that I've been in kind of was like a little different as far as my basketball journey. I think high school, obviously it's a different role, and then when you come to college, it's different. So I think just being able to kind of adjust to each new system has been, like, honestly, not a challenge, but kind of motivating, knowing that, you can play in any system and be a part of a winning team and still make an impact.
Did you obviously, when all was said and done, you did end up at Michigan State, but did you think you would end up here? Was there a point where you thought you'd end up here?
Well, I didn't know much about the school. Like, my AU coach told me, hey, they've been calling you. I didn't know. So that was kind of how that got set up. Okay. And I talked to them on the phone. We set up a visit. I took one visit and ended up here.
Do you feel like you guys are
playing as a team with obviously, the Big Ten tournament next and then the NCAA tournament after that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just team chemistry is going to be huge in this Big Ten tournament because every possession is going to matter. So you're going to need people out there doing little things, rebounding, diving on 50-50 balls. So I think the biggest thing is or ball movement, something like that. So our team chemistry, it's building, it's growing, and I think we'll continue that as the time goes.
Is there something that going into the postseason that we don't know about this team that maybe is going to show itself in the Big Ten tournament, the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I mean, just getting back, hitting 3 balls and, that press, kind of what we do. Like, we've shown teams, but I think that we can take it to, another level and kind of amp up our press, hit more threes, like things like that.
Can you describe how you guys really kind of had to gut this one out and then the fourth quarter run that you guys went on that really was the difference maker for you guys?
Yeah, things changed for me when I saw Jude throw her hands up and the crowd started cheering in the fourth quarter. So that got me hype. I'm just shaking my head like, yeah, I feel it. I'm not going to let this one slip through or anything like that. So I think just feeding off her energy, she's a great leader, and, everybody else on the court, nobody put their head down or anything like that. So it was good to see.
Going off of that, Coach talked about it a little bit, she said she had a moment where she realized it was 4 seniors, on the court at the same time. How was it that you guys were able to kind of build that separation together and then kind of go off the court together?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, our chemistry, I hang out with these guys every day, and we just keep building and growing, and I think the seniors have shown that they really just want to take that next step for the last year, and I think that we'll do that. We'll show that in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Rob. And then Robyn calls the timeout immediately. I mean, I'm sure you can think of better ways, like maybe hit a Holloman full court shot, but is that a pretty good, ideal way to cap your career at home here?
I'd say so, especially just after a slow shooting start. I think the last couple of games, my shot's been a little just not where we need it to be, so it definitely feels good going into postseason just to knock one down to end it here at the Bres. So I'd say it's a pretty good feeling and just good way to leave here on a make. I don't know. It's cool.
Can you describe, I guess, hyping the crowd up after the first 3 that you hit in the fourth quarter, and just how big of a moment that was for your team to get the energy back into place and spark that run you guys went on?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it in the huddle, just kind of pulling away a little bit. It was like a 1-point game, it felt like, for the majority of 3 quarters, I guess. But just kind of building off that momentum, and I don't know, I think we have the best fans ever, so I feel like if you give them one little, arm wave, they get pretty excited. So I just appreciate them and, all the time and energy and effort they spend rooting for us. So
I asked Robyn, I thought these last 2 games, just the way they were played and kind of like slogged it out at first and then caught a rhythm, that maybe this was kind of gear prep for the postseason.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot recently about we've played pretty much all ranked teams for the last I don't know how many weeks, and it's been good for us. And Coach Fralick always, was talking about it feels like we're playing March Madness already. And I think, I think our schedule has been tough towards the end here, but I think it's going to be great for us come postseason and just knowing what we're walking into with. Obviously, everybody's good, and just have to be ready for the challenge. And I think these past few games really challenged us in a way that'll be good for what's to come.
How would you sum up your career here with all you've been through? I know it's not over yet, but just 6 years and.
I always say it's hard for me to put into words, just kind of everything I feel and just how much this place has meant to me. I think the most important part is just the people I've been able to meet and relationships and stuff. It's been just, I couldn't have asked for a better just experience, and friends, family, and everybody was kind of able to be a part of it. So just kind of just the experience overall, and knowing that my time here I got blessed with some extra time as well. So I think that was just really cool for me to get to spend some extra time doing something I really love to do.
Talk about your journey in respects to, it's been touched on a little bit, but you kind of lost the love for basketball. And I was just wondering, was the injury part of that loss of the love? Was the coaching change part of that loss of love? And then how you got it back?
I would say, yeah, with the injury piece, it was just like I had really, had never had anything like that. And so I think it hit hard, and I think that it was just something that really challenged me in a way of, I wasn't used to feeling like I couldn't do things physically, and I think that was just really a struggle for me mentally, and it was hard for me to come in every day and kind of, approach it with the mentality of, like, it's going to get better, because it was just it was just such a shock to me. And I think over time and just being able to kind of work through that was the most important piece. But I think Coach Fralick and them helped tremendously, too.
The other thing, too, is that you obviously at some point said, I'm going to give this new coaching group a chance. Was there anybody who talked to you outside, or was it just something that you just kind of worked through yourself?
Sorry, I don't know what's going on, but Carol, can I have some water?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I think the coaching staff that came in was just tremendous in the sense of they really got to know us really well. That was the biggest thing for me was
just like kind of the one-on-one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have no idea. I'm struggling. I feel so bad. Sorry about that.
You're all right. Good.
Yeah, I think just how they approached everything coming in, their number one priority was to get to know us, and that was huge for me. They made us feel like family, and they still do, and just means the world, and obviously it makes emotions and everything.
Okay.
I asked, Robyn and Jaddan both about this, but you talked about how it was pretty much, it seemed like a 1-point game through 3 quarters. When you guys finally were able to pull away, all 4 seniors were on the court together, and those were the 4 that kind of led the charge to kind of pull this game away. Was there ever a moment where you kind of looked out and was like, when you guys were going off the court, like, man, we were all on the court together, and we're kind of the reason that we were able to get out of this game?
Yeah, I noticed it. I think with like maybe 3 minutes left, I can't remember exactly, but I looked around and I saw the 3 of them, and I was just like, what a moment, and just how much the 3 of them have been impactful to this program in a short amount of time. I just respect them and love them very much, and it was a really cool experience for me to just look at them and be like, we're going to do it, and we leave here on a win, and super proud of all of them, and just excited for them and their futures, and just excited that I got to know them.
And to kind of go off of that, what was the moment like? I know there were a lot of emotions and tears. You guys were not only coming off the court, but when you guys were with your families and everybody's taking pictures after the game. Describe that moment, with what you said, who were your sisters.
Yeah, I think it's just take a moment to look around and really just take it all in. I think obviously the fans and just all the family and friends and teammates, it's just such a special moment, and you try and capture it kind of mentally. I know we're pretty lucky we live in a time where we can get videos and pictures and all that good stuff, but I think just looking around and taking a deep breath and just realizing how truly special that moment is, and just being present in that space, and that was something I really tried to focus on. I was just kind of kept looking around like, this is amazing, and although this is my last time, I just feel blessed and honored to have even gotten to experience it.
I'll bring it back to basketball. What kind of team are you taking into the postseason?
I think we're taking an excited team. I think, in my time here, we've gone to the tournament twice, and I think we're looking forward to getting another opportunity. I think last year we fell a little bit short of where we wanted to go. So just focusing on that, using it as motivation, and just getting pumped up for whoever's next up.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.